So, from what I've learned about codependency, and I'm not claiming this as, the end all be all definition, but from what I've learned about codependency and what I understand about it, it's basically how you see me is how I see me. How you feel about me is how I feel about me. And I'm starting to realize that what I would argue to be at least a major symptom of codependency is doing things as a means to an end rather than doing things as an end in itself. Why is doing things as a means to an end codependency? Well, when you think about it, codependents do things to get things, right? Maybe they will do something for someone to get their validation, their approval, their love, right? They're not doing the thing because they want to do it. They actually probably don't want to do it. They're probably uncomfortable with doing it, right? But they do it because they want something, right? They want the validation, they want the love, they want the approval. And that's the fascinating thing here, because I've been looking at my life and I've been realizing, wow, I really resonate with this. Throughout my entire life, I have done things that I didn't want to do. And by the way, I take full responsibility and accountability for all of this stuff. That's important for healing. Taking responsibility and accountability for your behaviors, for your actions, and everything. Understanding that it's not your fault that you were traumatized, but it is your responsibility to do something about it. So, doing things as a means to an end, right? So let me just make this clear, because I need to paint a picture of what this is and what it means, right? You're either doing, I mean, maybe it's not that you're just either doing things for this or that. That kind of sounds like black or white thinking. But you can do things as a means to an end, and you can do things as an end in itself. I find myself more recently doing things as an end in itself. But I used to do things all the time as a means to an end. For instance, I would, I don't know. Like, I'm actually having a hard time, like, looking at things that I used to do as a means to, like, I remember years ago, I used to be a little bit more on the crazy slash adventurous side. I mean, I understand that people probably wouldn't really consider this to be crazy or adventurous. Some people that are like adrenaline junkies do this. But I used to like jump off of things into water, like cliffs, bridges, all that kind of stuff, right? Um, and I remember I wanted to be liked by people. And it wasn't that I didn't like doing this, I actually did enjoy doing it. But it wasn't that I enjoyed doing it that was the only reason that I would do it, and I probably wouldn't do it if I was alone. So, jumping off of a bridge or off of a cliff into water, I remember now, like, I would be so focused on getting there fast and getting there as soon as I could so that, like, everyone could see me jump off of it, right? And then they'd be like, oh my God, look at Chris, look what he just did, that was crazy, right? Um, Codependency has a lot to do specifically in terms of actions and behaviors with controlling people's perceptions of you, um, at least in my own experiences. Because if you can do that, then you'll win over people's validation and approval, right? So I did the best that I could to paint myself as this wild dude who did wild shit. Um, Jumping off of bridges into water, where even the water may have been shallow, was just one example of that, right? Um, but it's fascinating because, like, now I look at it and I realize I don't think that I would have done that if I was by myself, if I was alone. And, now I really look at it and I'm like, I realize that a majority of the things that I have done throughout my life, whether I've wanted to do them or not, while doing them, my focus and awareness was not really on my enjoyment of the experience, but more so on the being tuned into everyone else around me and who's watching, right? Um, and, just like really as I reflect on this, I'm realizing that seriously, throughout my entire life, I have done things as a means to an end. I have done things to get something. And I'm going to call that for what it is, because it is manipulative, right? Empaths, maybe we don't mean to be manipulative, but we learn this style of being and behavior from a very early age, and we do things to call attention. We do things because we want people to like us. We want people to validate us, to accept us, to approve of us, to love us, right? Um, and so, throughout my entire life, like I was saying before, I've done things as a means to an end. I'm doing this to get that. Rather than, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. I don't give a shit if anyone else is watching. I'm doing this because I like doing it, right? And so as I heal and everything, I'm really like looking back and I'm reflecting right now. And I realize how many things that I've done as a means to an end that I really didn't care about. Hoping that somebody would validate me or approve of me or accept me or love me. And of course, with everything that I've learned about, all of that stuff, especially and specifically in this case, love, people are going to love you for who you are. And if they don't love you for who you are, they're not going to love you. And that's just the way that it is, right? And so doing things as a means to an end to get somebody to love you, no. No. Red flag. Manipulation. That's not healthy. And again, I accept fault for all of the times that I've done that. And I'm really, I would say, doing what's required to be very comfortable with all of the no's. When I say that, I mean N-O. It's a full fucking sentence that I give to people. And there have been times throughout the past, I don't know, month, 2 months at this point, like very recently, that I've still been continuing this pattern of doing things as a means to an end, and actually like looking specifically at things that I have zero interest in. This is a time of very serious transformation for me, and I'm very excited about that. It is uncomfortable, it is unfamiliar, it is unknown. It's weird. I know it's kind of strange for me to say this. I've had so many years of experience doing things as a means to an end in, roots of codependency to get something from someone. That it's honestly just kind of weird to allow myself to do things as an end in itself because I fucking enjoy it. When you're so used to patterns, when you're so used to what's deeply rooted inside of you, moving away from that can be challenging, right? So I'm really trying to stop doing things as a means to an end. I don't need anybody's love or approval or validation or acceptance. Fuck all of that, to be quite honest. That shit is a fucking prison. It's the same old familiar fucking prison that I have been living in for, as long as I can remember. People are either going to love you or they're not. If they don't, cool. If they do, cool. You really don't have to do anything extra. And throughout my entire life, I've been doing a whole fuck ton of a lot of extra. Again, I take responsibility and accountability. I'm not here to be like, you did this to me, you did this, you did... No, I'm not about that shit. That's fucking lame. I'm about responsibility and accountability and understanding what it is that I want. And of course, doing the best that I can to hold healthy relationships with other people. But really just focusing on this element of, Chris does not need to do things that he doesn't want to do to get things that he'll probably later on in life realize he didn't even want to begin with. He just thought that he needed it. He thought that he needed people's validation and approval and acceptance and love. So he's being so wildly inauthentic about himself and about what he's doing and about what he wants and everything that he's gonna feel fucking weird and fucked up for a long time. No, you don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. He doesn't need to do that. She doesn't need to do that. We all don't need to do that. And just learning to actually do things that I want to do. I'm not like. And by the way, I'll take this a little bit further. When you literally just do what you want to do because you fucking enjoy doing it, your life can literally transform. And I'm not just talking about in the area of stepping outside of codependency and stopping doing things as a means to an end. I'm talking about fucking life. If you don't do what you want to do, but you're doing what you don't want to do because you want the money, you're probably going to be happier doing what you want to do and not worrying so much about the money. Right? That's another thing. Like, you do something as a means to an end. I'm doing this to get money. I don't like doing this, but I'm doing it to get money. Right? Maybe you could make a little bit less money and do what you actually enjoy rather than, it's not just a matter of codependency in relationships and trying to get validation, approval, love, and acceptance from people. It's also about what you fucking do from 9 to 5, It's in multiple areas of life, Just realizing that there is a very inauthentic resistance energy that comes with the dynamic of doing things as a means to an end. It's like transactional, kind of, right? You're not talking to this person because you actually want to. In fact, the more you talk to them, the more you realize how much you actually don't want to talk to them. The more you realize how much you actually don't want a relationship with them, right? You're doing it because you think that you're supposed to, because you think that they have something that they can give you that you need, that only you doing this thing that you don't want to do and talking to them will provide you with that, and it will fill this fucking void of darkness and insecurity inside. No, it's just not true. It's not true at all. Doing what you enjoy because you enjoy it, over doing things as a means to an end, there is a massive fucking difference there.